Dear journalists, we are continuing our working day. Now we are going to listen to Colonel Andriy Lysenko, the Speaker of the Presidential Administration, about the situation in the ATO zone. Good afternoon, dear esteemed colleagues. I would like to share with you the major events which took place over the last day in the ATO zone. In the Lugansk area, the militants bombarded Stanitsa Luganska during the night. They fired from the grenade launchers for 4 hours in a row till the dawn. As a result of this shelling, one of the shops was burned, and the district center doesn't have any gas or power supply. Also, in the night, they registered the short-term mortar shelling of our positions, which are located a bit to the east, near the state frontier. However, the position of militants remains the same, near the monument to the Prince Igor, on the right bank of Seversky Donetsk River, near the highway between Stanitsa Lugansk and Lugansk. In other section of the front in Lugansk area, there were no other aggressive actions. Traditional uneasy situation is in Donetsk night direction. Yesterday morning, our enemy she carried out a powerful mortar and artillery bombardment of our positions for more than 5 hours near the Svetlodarsk agglomeration. One of the targets of the militants was a strategic bridge on the M03 highway. Also, the artillery batteries of the enemy are deployed between Volgogirsk and Kalinivka near the front line. They also provided the ragged fire to the north and west of Gorlivka, Mykolaievka Druga, Mayorskirova, also the section between Gorlovka and Yasunvata. We didn't register any violation of ceasefire. The western suburbs of Donetsk remain the epicenter of confrontation between ATO forces and the enemy forces. Also, the enemy used tanks and artillery to bombard the residential quarters of Avdiivka and the territory of Avdiivka coke and chemical plant. And the positions of the enemy at the village of Spartak and Alexandrovka, the territory of Donetsk airport, 4 western districts of Donetsk. They are just saturated with a heavy military equipment, which is used systematically. Statistics of the last days show that the statements of the leaders of banned formations of the so-called DPR about the withdrawal of heavy weapons is a cynical lie. And a special cynical and criminal episode took place in the outskirts of Donetsk towards Kurakhove. From the occupied territories through the enemy's checkpoint, and the vehicle was coming, and militants without any barriers, without any hindrances, let the vehicle go. And then they opened the fire from this vehicle from the mortars, as a result of which 3 passengers of this vehicle were wounded. The international observers also do not confirm the statements of the militants regarding the withdrawal of heavy weapons. Also the observers warn about the accumulation of the military equipment on the occupied territories. In the Mariupol direction, the situation remains more or less calm. The short-term shellings of our positions from 120mm mortars took place in the area of Novotroitsky, Starognatovka, and Bogdanovka, and Shirokino. They registered episodic armed provocations with the use of grenade launchers and firearms. Yesterday in the ATO zone, they registered 12 flights of drones over the last day. As a result of the combat actions, one Ukrainian serviceman was killed and another one was wounded. Militants cynically violate the Minsk agreements, and actually they try to rob the civilians. Yesterday, through the Bulgas checkpoint, 16 trucks with humanitarian assistance was going, which carried 255 tons of food products, hygienic means, and the building materials for the residents of the Donetsk region. This help was provided by the International Committee of the Red Cross, but the illegal formations did not allow those vehicles to go through. At the same time, despite the catastrophic socio-economic situation, occupational administration territory of the Donetsk region threatens to to capture the real estate and just from the local residents.
I have to say that the weapons was Znak man who is wanted for the participation in military groups of civil place with weapons was found in the Luhansk region and in the sanatorium forgotten several years. The rebels and there were 2 grenade launchers, RPG 7 grenades and fuses, 9 fuses for them. It was prepared to take it away from ATO. So please, citizens, be careful and immediately inform police about any suspicious items because they can be dangerous. In Gerasimovka, Stanitz, Luhansk region, the district, an agent was arrested and he presented himself as the military, as a border guard. He collected money from local people for the needs of ATO and informed about active further battles, and he was making people panic, and he had a lot of Russian documents, and he had a passport and credential of Cossack from Civilika Veyskodasko and a pass to enter a border area of Russian Federation issued by FSB. And I would like to remind you that near that border village, which is 20 kilometers from the front line, there were many groups that entered to our territory from Russia. And not come a situation in the Ukraine creates new challenges to our troops. That's why Ukraine enhances military cooperation with armed forces of NATO countries, and Rapid Transit in 2015 started yesterday to Lviv for the participation. 1,800 people from 18 countries of the world arrived already. During the train, and they will use 900 units of weaponry, 130 military vehicles. And now there is a train in pre-front line at the dislocation of our units and not far from Artemsk. There are positions to have trainings on firing, and the Ukrainian soldiers train from different positions, how to fly from different positions, and how to fight in groups. Our Western friends provide assistance to our soldiers on the front line. The government of Canada one more time to provide a mobile military hospital, and all the set system can be used at under any geography, and it can be developed in 6 hours and can be pulled back in 4 hours. Such field hospitals can save a lot of lives of our soldiers, and the Ukrainian patriots help our military men. Pharmaceutical company from Kharkiv provided medicine to military men who are in the east, and 5 units received medicine which is necessary on the front, like bandages, painkillers, and other medicine. This is not the first assistance from Kharkiv charity funds, and they cooperate with with Kharkiv hospitals, Kharkiv, Zimei, Dnipropetrovsk, and also there is a planned rotation in the units of Ukrainian police. And Khmelnytsky, they received policemen who more than a month in ATO area. They were responsible for keeping order in Luhansk and Donetsk region. The united unit of 60 policemen returned completely back, and even some addition. They brought German dog box, and they took it, and also they feed it. And as the commander says, the service conditions were quite complicated, and now they will have a week of vacations, and after that they will return to their duties. And in Chernihiv from ATO, a policeman returned, and for 30 days, Chernihiv police, they're responsible for public order and got in strategic facilities. They went to Slavyansk, and in Popasna they arrested 10 people who are suspected in separatism. After successful tasks, they returned home completely. All of them returned home. One more story about Ukrainian military men on the front line. It was Mariupol in the units of National Guards of Ukraine, and there are 2 heads of village councils, Valery Polishchuk and Yuri Sinchuk from Mykolaiv region. Despite the fact that, according to the law, they are not supposed to be mobilized, they went to the front as volunteers. Valery and Yuri were not able to stay aside when there is the war in the country, and a lot of people from the villages received mobilization documents. And Polishchuk, Lieutenant Polishchuk, he was in many hotspots of former USSR in Northern Karabakh and Central Asia. Now he runs the unit of National Guards who hold the positions not far from Mariupol. And Yuri Sinchuk now serves an ATO, and he has the position of a doctor, junior doctor, and his 2 men from his village died. That's when he decided to go to the front and to take the weapons and to defend the motherland. This is all information. If there is any question, ask. The first question: with what information agency Ostrov in the report from OSCE, it says from yesterday that the fund evidence said that from Ukraine from Peromorsk and Pesky, there was shelling upon Donetsk. How can you comment on that? You see, our military men on the front line, they don't have such weapons that could reach those places where shells fell. So we take the shortest distance between explosions. Place of explosion and opponents is about 8 kilometers. Because we have mortars only of 84 caliber, and they cannot reach that. Only can reach half of the distance, like 3 kilometers 800, and that's maximum our mortars can reach. So we denounce that accusation, because physically we don't have weapons that we can shoot for such distance. We don't exclude that this is a provocation, because very often the militants can, from the same spot, they can shell upon our positions, and they turn backwards and shell upon other places. Will be some kind of reaction to OSCE mission. OSCE they didn't tell it was done by our forces, but they said that it's from Ukrainian side. Is there any question? If not, thank you very much. Thank you. Our next brief will be at 1 o'clock.